Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Marks, if you would lead us in a opening
Sure.
prayer.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come here today to make decisions on behalf of the people of this county, and we ask you to bless those decisions. You know full well what we are going through as a county, as a nation, even all over the world with the coronavirus. We still know that you are in control and you have a plan. So we simply ask that we be part of the execution of that plan today, and that you bless all of our proceedings. In your name we pray. Amen.
All right, at this point, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Webster? Here. Commissioner Holzhausen did he call or anything?
I believe he's still out of town.
Okay. Commissioner McMaster?
Here.
Commissioner Garber? Here. Commissioner Marks?
Here.
Commissioner Plowman?
Here.
Chairman Root?
Here. And at this time, if everyone would notice, we do have an addition here from our facilities department. This was brought in, and I think the severity of why we're meeting early. This is for a water heater in the jail. And we want to make sure, as we continue to encourage people to wash their hands, we need to have hot water in the jail. So I'd entertain a motion to add this as C on finance.
So moved.
Support.
A motion and support, discussion on this. All those in favor of adding it to the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. That will be item C, Commissioner Plowman, or item B, excuse me, on finance.
I see that. Okay, we'll do.
All right, and then we'll move right into approval of bills. Commissioner Plowman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to approve the invoice item reports dated 2/13/2020, 2/13/2020, 2/20, 2/20, 2/27, 2/27, 3/5, 3/5, 3/12, 3/12, 2020, and wire transfers, ACH and EFTs, to MERS, Sun Life, Blue Cross, and Blue Shield. The grand total being $5,950,347.80, both batch and wire, and to authorize the warrants be drawn from the Treasury for sale.
We have a motion to pay the bills on the table.
Second.
We have a second from Commissioner Marks. Any discussion on these bills? We'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Holzhausen is absent. Commissioner McMaster?
Yes.
Commissioner Garber? Yes. Commissioner Marks?
Here. Yes.
Commissioner Plowman?
Yes.
Commissioner Webster? Yes. Chairman Root?
Yes, the bills are approved. We'll move right into our agenda, economic and fiscal development. Commissioner Plowman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to consider authorizing the Drain Commissioner to sign a letter of intent with Hillsdale County to contract with Solid Circle to create a new drain ledger software. The maximum cost to the county is $5,000 with an estimated annual maintenance fee of $1,000.
Support.
We have a motion and support, discussion on this. For our drain, do you have anything real quick?
The BSNA drain ledger software that was purchased in 2013 is no longer being supported by BSNA. And next time that Windows updates, it probably will not even work. They weren't sure it was going to work when forced change from Windows 7 to Windows 10 happened, but it did. But they know for sure it's not going to work the next forced change. And instead of waiting till the last minute, the MACDC, the Michigan Association of County Drain Commissioners, created a committee to figure out what we're going to do next. And most fiscally responsible choices that we had were to create a software basically mimicking that one, but being more with the new Windows program versus the old one. So this, by doing it now with Hillsdale County, it's only going to cost us $5,000. If we wait till the program is already made and then have to purchase it from Solid Circle, it's probably going to be $10,000. And the yearly maintenance fee for BSNA was like $1,700, $1,750. They are not charging that anymore because they're not servicing it at all. And so it's probably gonna be less than 1,000, but I wanted to be safe with 1,000. They said it's probably between 750 and 1,000. So that would be the yearly maintenance fee for it.
All right, any questions? All right, we'll do a roll call vote on that.
Commissioner McMaster?
Yes.
Commissioner Garber?
Yes.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman?
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Olshausen is absent, and Chairman Root.
Yes, that motion approved.
I move to approve the revised 2020 county monumentation and remonumentation plan and authorize the board chair to execute the documents.
Second.
A motion and second, any discussion on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. That motion's approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes Economic Physical Development Committee report.
We'll go right into finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to approve a renewal contract with ZIX for services to the county for secure email archiving, email spam filtering, and email encryption in the amount of $8,332 from account 101-228-948.030.
Second.
A motion and second, discussion on this? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Olshausen is absent, Commissioner McMaster?
Yes.
Chairman Root.
Yes. Motion's approved.
Okay, item B, this is the water heater. I move to approve remove existing 75-gallon residential heater, house unit, and replace with an 80-gallon commercial water heater in same location at current completion with labor and mechanical permit with total installation installed for $6,327.
Second.
A motion and second, discussion on this? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Olshausen is absent, Commissioner McMaster?
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Chairman Root.
Yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one other thing I handed out today, the road commission's 8-year plan, 3 years are done for blacktopping in the county. Take a look at it, and next month they'll be here to talk about the passing report. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I conclude my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Palmer. Public Safety Courts, Commissioner McMaster.
Item A, I move to consider increasing the emergency management administrative assistance hours from 16 hours per week to 24 at the same rate of pay, $12.50 an hour, with no benefits except as required by law, funded by the General Emergency Management Grant.
Support.
A motion and support. Any discussion on this? Obviously, she's working double time right now, so that's why we left this on here. We need all the help we can get. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Olshausen is absent, Commissioner McMaster,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Chairman Root.
Yes. Motion's approved.
The only other thing I have, the Technology Ad Hoc Committee, we were gonna meet today, that has been canceled. And that completes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner McMaster. Health and Human Services, Commissioner Garber.
I would move that we consider authorizing the Health Department to sign a grant agreement with Michigan Primary Care Association for the Perry Public Schools Mental Health Program in the amount of $100,000 for a period of 10/1/2019 to 9/30/2020, and authorize the Health Director to execute the documents.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Discussion on this item. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Olshausen absent, Commissioner McMaster,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Chairman Root.
Yes. Motion approved.
I would consider authorizing the Health Department to sign an agreement with Agus Training Solutions LLC for de-escalation training in the amount of $99 per employee, and authorize the Health Director to execute the documents.
We have a motion on the table.
Support.
We have a support, Commissioner Webster. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Olshausen is absent, Commissioner McMaster,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Chairman Root.
Yes. Motion approved.
That concludes my report.
Commissioner Garber. Committee of the Whole, Vice Chairman Marks, do you have anything at this
No
time?
report, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Other agenda items?
Mr. Chairman, do we need to take any action on the current emergency state? Are there financial things we need to take care of? I know the letter went out to the employees Are there things that we need to approve for departments to be able to do what they need to do?
I am going to address that in just one second.
Okay.
But at this time, I will take, I see we don't have public comment on here, but we do have public here. If anyone from the public would like to speak briefly, now is the opportunity. All right, we will move into the chairman's report then. All right, at this time, as we know, it's an ongoing battle with the COVID-19 outbreak. The county has set up a local hotline for our health department to be open during business hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That number is going to be 989-743-2460. That'll be there to answer any questions and concerns you may have. We will have it staffed during business hours, and those that call after business hours will get a recording and they will be contacted back by staff. Currently, the state is 54 cases confirmed in Michigan. There are none in Shiawassee County. We are actively watching it. The leadership team and the Joint Information Center has been meeting daily to watch the progression of the outbreak. I have met with board chairs from Clinton, Livingston, and Genesee County to discuss their movings forward and how they're handling it. It seems like they're in a similar fashion as we are. They were taking their time, but things have progressed in the last day to that most of our counties now surrounding us have shut down, have gone to very limited services. They're closed down to the public. Obviously, essential services remain open. Our law enforcements, the courts, prosecutor's office, the health departments, those stay open. Everything else has been sort of shuttered in effect. It's closed down to the public. That is the position we are moving in at this point. Our county is, we want to be ahead of it. We've been consistent and pretty thorough in our messaging as we've gone through this. So at this point, we feel through our recommendations from our chief medical director, our health director, that at this time it's best that the county close down today at 5 p.m. and that, you know, we take a 14-day, which will only be, actually it'll only be an 8-day, but we want to follow the 14-day guideline and be off until April or March 30th. So at this time, as the chairman and the chief executive official of the county, we are also declaring a state of emergency in Shiawassee County. On March 17, 2020, pursuant to Section 10 of Public Act 390 as amended, I declare a state of emergency exists in the county of Shiawassee in response to the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. The planning and response aspects of the Shiawassee County Emergency Management Plan have been activated. The local resources will be utilized to the fullest extent possible. Despite these efforts, the County of Shiawassee realizes that local resources may not be sufficient to cope with the situation. Accordingly, be advised that Jeffrey Weiss, Emergency Manager Coordinator, will provide liaison and coordination with any state and potential federal authorities for assistance related to this incident, and I've signed off on that. So we will go into a state of emergency. So we need everybody to start preparing. We need our department heads, elected officials to please devise a plan of operation for your office. And if we could have a plan of how you plan to maintain your office, if you're closing down and everybody's out, if you're planning on having sort of a skeleton crew that in the event you feel there are some essential services that we have obligations to, please document that, let that be known, send that to our health director. His staff is putting out so that we can put out one message, one release. We don't want 6 of them coming in, 7 of them coming in from department heads and going out at different times. But we have till 2:30 today to please get that in by 2:30. Make that one of your priorities today and how you're going to operate. I know the courts have already done it. The sheriff's office has already done it. So we just need some of the other department heads to figure out how exactly they want to manage their office. And then we can get that out in message. And the big message is going to continue to be that we do not want to panic. You know, we want to continue preparing as we have been. I think we have prepared. We've prepared to get to this point. The social distancing and community separation continues to be the message, and it will be going forward. And we just need to remember that what we're trying to do with this shutdown is to stop that. We need to curb the virus. It continues to go on a trajectory up. And what we want to do, and what's being proven in other areas, is that this social distancing and community separation tends to bring that curve. It levels it off, and if we can get it to level it off faster and flatten it out, that's where we want to be. We don't want it to continue to rise, because then it gets out of control and we're going to be in a worse situation than we are now. And with that, we are working to be flexible with staff. Obviously, staff will be off, staff will be paid for their time, staff will not be charged their sick days. They would, otherwise they would be working anyway, so it's not an extra bill or fee onto the county, but we will be monitoring everything, and everyone still keep records and tabs of anything above and beyond, payroll expenses. And again, if anybody's off, there should be an Excel spreadsheet that's going around to department heads, and those that are off or aren't in the office, we kind of want that timesheet filled out, and then over in the corner in the notes section, COVID-19 tag, so that we know that they're out of the office, but yet they are being paid as though they are in the office. But with that COVID-19 tag, we'll know, and if in the event there is some reimbursement for that, maybe we at least have a record of it. So that's something we need our department heads to be on top of as well. But with that, I'm gonna, I'll just thank the community for being understanding, our workers, our employees for bearing with us, for still coming to work, for still being here. Facilities will still be on site. We have added additional staff in the cleaning department so that we can keep surfaces cleaned. We don't want that burden to just be on the department and their staff. We want to be taking advantage of that too. And as we continue to clean, hopefully 14 days without people in the offices gives a good chance for whatever. I mean, the disease is, I don't know how many days does the disease live on a surface?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. So if we can get the surfaces clean, then that'll put us in a better predicament. But we could come back in 2 weeks and be addressing this again. So, and as of the 7 days for state of emergency, if we feel we need to do that, the Board of Commissioners will have to reconvene to either extend. I mean, if we want to extend it, the Board of Commissioners will have to reconvene to extend it. But if not, we'll let that die off if we need to. But we'll address that. We're still going to be monitoring this daily. The Joint Information Center will still be up. Meetings with the emergency operations will still be going on. Our health director has been on top of this the whole time. He is the incident command for this entire situation, and we've been deferring to him along with our emergency manager, and they've been on ball, on point, and right where we needed them to be at every step of the way. So that is the state of where we're at right now. We will close today at 5 o'clock with a scheduled reopen on the 30th. Yep, the 30th of March. Is there any questions from my fellow members?
I did see an email come from Mac, you've probably seen that too, that there's a petition going to the state on behalf of county boards that we might be able to do some business by email vote and so they're asking for some suspension of the Open Meetings Act, so that we could do email meeting instead of having to reconvene.
Thank you, Commissioner Webb. That's a good point. Our attorney did reach out to me too and told me that she represents MAC as well. And she said as soon as a decision was made, she would reach out to us as soon as possible, let us know. But thank you for reminding. Yeah, that was a good point. Anything else from anyone else? We know where we're at now. Everybody understands where we're at. Anything from our health director, our emergency manager?
I just want to thank you all. These are trying times, and it's all of us working together as a team. And we are going to win. We're going to beat this thing. So thank you for taking the steps you're taking.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. From emergency management, again, the health department is the lead incident commander in the emergency operations center, and we just encourage to put the message out to your constituents and people that you know to help their neighbors. help the vulnerable populations. If you have someone who can't get out and get medication, always refer them to that local number, and we will find the resources to get what needs to be done. Thank you.
Sheriff, anything?
Yeah, I just want to inform the public that we are essential personnel. We recognize that, and the community will not see any reduction in law enforcement. Deputies will still be out on patrol, responding to emergencies during this time.
Thank you. Prosecutor, do you want to add anything?
No, thank you to the health department, emergency manager, and we are going to work closely with the sheriff to remain up and running during this time of crisis.
Okay. All right. And with that, if we have nothing else, we will adjourn. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Yeah.
What are you guys doing?